So here we are for yet another unboxing, and this one is from a brand that I've not reviewed in a number of years. This is the ZD Racing MT-16. Now this is a 1/16 scale four-wheel drive electric monster truck. And this one here, for those of you with a keen eye, you might recognize because it does actually look pretty much identical to the Lalo, I think it's the ROG1, right, which I unboxed and ran a number of months ago now. It's been a while since I ran that truck, but this is essentially the same truck but different, okay? And we're going to go through it, and I'll give you some comparisons of what this does well and what are the differences between this one and the Lalo one. Now there is a price difference. The Lalo truck at the moment I think is about $180 US, which translates to about $280 Australian. This one here retails for about 250 bucks. So it's about $30 difference. And you will see some of those differences on here. You'll see why there's a bit of a price difference. Now, I say 180 because that Lalo truck is currently on sale. I think normally there'll be a little bit more. So you'll be paying around the 300 plus for the Lalo truck here in Australia. And this one, as I said, is about 250, but you can always get it on like eBay sales and things like that. Now this is supplied here in Australia by Hobbies Australia, and thankfully, they actually sent this out for me for review, so a big shout out to them. So let's get a move on, kick that box out of the way, and we'll have a look at all the little goodies that you get when you get one of these. So this is the truck here, and I'll do the big reveal of the plastic a bit later on. So you get the truck fully assembled and ready to go. You get your little radio here. And then of course you get a bag of goodies. Now you'll notice the truck does not come with any window stickers or anything like that. They do supply all of that for you to stick on, so you can have a bit of fun there and decorate the truck to your liking. You also get the wheelie bar that you'll need to mount on. I actually checked this. This is the exact same wheelie bar that the Lalo one has, except the Lalo has a different color metal here. But even the little grooves on the metal and everything is the same. Like, it's the same wheelie bar, right? Charge cable or charger for the battery that's included. So this is just a USB charger. And you also get a little bag of tools. There's also some extra double-sided tape in there, and what looks like a high-speed pinion, and a couple of zip ties to go with it. So there we go. That's all the bits you get with the truck. And then lastly, and most importantly, is of course the user manual, which I know I see the comments, guys. All right, I read the comments. You guys are constantly asking me to go over the manuals in detail because you want to read this to your kids and whatever to put them to sleep at night. I understand. So let's have a look at the manual and see what ZD Racing have done with this one. So first page, we've got some information regarding the radio, how everything plugs in, how to operate, how to charge, turn the car on, turn the radio on. All of that information is there. And of course we have some exploded views with part numbers. So if you break something, need to repair something, you got all the information on there, and then you got all the individual parts with their respective part numbers as well. There's another page in here with some more exploded views and bits and pieces, right? So everything is actually there for you, which I think is fantastic. And then if you want to take notes of anything, you got that back page there. So very good manual. Good to see that they actually put an effort with this one. Nice job, ZD Racing. Moving on to the radio, I think this is one that I have reviewed on the channel before. It may have actually been the same one that the Lalo truck came with. I can't quite remember. But overall, it looks pretty cool. It doesn't have a base on it though, so standing it up like that is pretty risky because it'll tumble over pretty easily. So you want to keep it laying down. You can't even put it nose down like this. So this is really your only option. It does feel pretty good in the hand. The trigger's okay. The wheel is not too bad either. Although I would have preferred a nice foam wheel on here. It does have little calipers and brake discs and stuff like that in there. So yeah, looks okay. And it does run on 4 AA's. It's got a little flipper door on the bottom here. You just pop your AA's in there and away you go. And then we've got a couple of channels up here. You got channel 3. If my camera would focus, would be really, really nice. Here we go. Channel 3 and channel 4 just there. I think this here is a little indicator light in the center. And then we will just peel this off. And then underneath this little door, we have our steering trim throttle trim, and throttle dual rate. And this is your on-off button just over here. So pretty simple radio. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, the Lalo radios were a bit hit and miss, so we'll see what this one's like. I don't know if they're using the same protocol, same receivers or anything like that. I haven't really checked any of that, but the radio does feel pretty familiar to me. So we'll see how we go. And here we are for the truck itself, and we'll get rid of this plastic because I'm sure it was annoying a lot of you out there. The truck doesn't look all that great because it doesn't have the decals on it at the moment, but I'm sure once the decals are on it, it will actually look pretty good. Very nice looking truck. Again, very similar to the Lalo one. As far as wheels and tires, the wheels and tires are exactly the same as on the other truck. And they feel pretty good. You got nice medium foams in there. The tires feel nice and grippy. They don't feel too hard. I think these are going to do just fine. Suspension wise, nice and plush. Doesn't feel too stiff. It's not drooping everywhere. I think they've got the suspension tuned pretty right for this guy. I think it's going to handle quite well. So we'll take the body pins off and we'll have a look at the body. I would be, again, pretty convinced that this body is probably the same as the Lalo one, but just got a different livery on it. Still got all the you know, the little canisters and the fire extinguisher and all that sort of stuff on the back there. Roof skids, little plastic mirrors, and then you got all the stuff that's kind of bolted everything together there. So that's what it looks like. I think that one is going to do just fine. Now, when we look at the truck, there are going to be a lot of similarities here. For those of you who already own the other truck, you're going to see a lot of things that you already know, but you might also spot a couple of differences. So front and rear bumpers are exactly the same. We also have aluminium threaded body chocks with the aluminium shock caps, but they do have the little plastic loop that goes over the standoffs there. I believe these look like to be about 2.5, maybe 3 mil shock towers, both front and rear. You got a couple of adjustments on the shock towers as well, and there's also a couple of adjustments on the A-arms. You got CVDs at the front, standard dog bones in the rear. So that's pretty standard, and I think they'll hold up just fine. Aluminium chassis is same as the other truck. The A-arms are exactly the same profile and shape as on the other truck, but the Lalo truck has the grey arms, and ZD Racing's got just the plain black plastic arms, which I don't know how they're going to hold up. We'll see once I take a few hits if they're going to give me any issues or not. The Lalo one didn't, so yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. Of course, it does have an LED on the front bumper as well, which is connected to the receiver box, which is in the center here. Now, it does have sway bars front and rear already pre-installed. Also got droop screws in there as well. You might be able to spot the droop screw. Servo seems to be fine. It does sound a little different from the Lalo one, so they may have a different brand servo in here. We'll see how that goes. Now, where you might notice a little bit of a difference is on these camber links and toe links. These are just slightly thinner than the Lalo one. The Lalo one's got slightly beefier ones, but the difference is so minimal that if I hadn't told you, you probably would not pick that up. But I did have the trucks next to each other, and I did see a slight difference. I don't know if it's going to matter, but we will find out once I run it, of course. Now, the other difference with this guy is the ESC is very different. This must be an in-house ESC. The Lalo one has the on-off switch on the back here. This one's got it on top, just above the heatsink. And the cables on this one is very, very thin. So compared to the battery cables, these are very thin. Hopefully they're not going to create any sort of like extra resistance and overheating or anything like that. We'll see that again once we run it. Motor is exactly the same as on the other truck. This is a 2845 3600 kV. And from what I remember, it's got plenty of power. Should have no issues getting this thing along. Of course, all the bracing and everything else is exactly the same. So yeah, this looks like a promising little truck. And as I said, this guy is supplied by Hobbies Australia here to all the hobby shops. So you'll be able to get spare parts, you'll get warranty support and things like that locally, which is something that you're not going to find a lot of if you decide to go down the Lalo part. And also, this is a cheaper truck. So stay tuned for more. I'm going to take this one out and give it a bash, and we're going to see how it's going to perform and how it's going to hold up. I did break the Lalo truck. If you guys remember, I actually broke one of the rear axle carriers. So hopefully we won't have this problem with this one. I'll get a little bit luckier, and you know, hopefully my skills are up to scratch as well, because I haven't been driving too much. I've actually been doing more flying than driving lately, so we'll see how that goes. All right, we're going to wrap this one up here, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. Again, a big shout out to Hobbies Australia for sending this out for review. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and of course, don't forget to hit that like button before you go. Thank you all very much, and I'll speak to you all next time.